what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 12, volume 4 of the Fantasy Formula. Ain't no half-stepping here today as we breeze through the first quarter of the NFL season. Wow, what a start. John Mark, you like that blast from the past 1988 Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half-Stepping?
I was only 9 years old when that came out. I wouldn't even listen to that kind of music.
What were you listening to, like nursery rhymes and stuff back then, huh?
Not, man, I can't remember. Hopefully not New Kids on the Block either, man. Who knows?
The bad thing is I probably was. So that's 1988. That was my first year of high school. So, yeah, probably a little bit of Big Daddy Kane. I was into some hip-hop. Big Daddy Kane, Eric B. and Rakim, Rob Bass. Remember that?
I remember
that.
I hear them when I come to your house, listen to some music sometimes. You guys know the words, I don't.
Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so glad to have you here for the Fantasy Formula, your number one fantasy football show in all the land. John Mark, let us introduce our starting lineup for today. We've got on the wheels of steel. He makes it all happen for us. He's Chris Magic Hands Farai. Sitting across from me, he just spoke. Replacing our man Addison Houday Fox, who's on a month hiatus, might be in rehab. I don't know where this dude is, but we're thinking of you, Addison, thinking of you every day. We've got our man John Mark Russell, last year's champ in our league. John Mark, how you doing?
Let's go.
How we do last week, buddy?
Wins in both of my leagues.
Whoa, which makes the total at
sitting 4-1 in our league and 3-2 in the other.
Wow.
So I'm coming after it again. I'm not going to just sit back and relax. You know what I'm saying?
Good for you. In our league, tell me the standout player, like who's getting it done for you, or maybe there are multiple players.
I'd say Julio Jones is probably my number one guy. I've got McCoy sitting there and not doing anything and still winning. Also, Foles not pulling the numbers I thought he would. I'm winning with the guys that I need to do good, not even doing good yet. So I'm coming strong soon. Wow,
that's very impressive, man. On the other side of the ball here, Team Hitman Chad East, return of the Chad Eye. 3 games last weekend. We win 2, we lose 1, 4-1 in one league, 4-1 in another league, and move up to 3-2 in the final league. So, John Mark, after a abysmal 2013 season, it looks like Chad's got it back on track. Hope so. Anyway,
welcome back, Chad.
Yeah, thank you, baby. I needed it because last year was humiliating. Anyway, let's kick our show off today, John Mark, with some breaking news in our injury report. Some big injuries let's talk about and focus on first. I mean, maybe the biggest name in wide receivers for the NFL, Calvin Johnson, goes out in the second quarter with an ankle injury, the ankle that's been bothering him really all year. Coach at the Detroit Lions say he probably will sit out next week, and if it's not getting any better, it might be multiple weeks. What does this do to Matt Stafford owners with Calvin Johnson on the sideline?
Well, with what they've got going on, backup wide receivers are going to get some looks. Now, I think also Ebron's probably going to be their number one guy who's probably going to get some looks as well. Now, with, Calvin Johnson really hasn't been doing anything all season. So, I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, it's not really going to hurt those teams that's already been hurting.
It's true. He started out pretty good. The first 2 games, Calvin had great games, and so that made Matt Stafford have great games. The last 2, Matt Stafford pedestrian numbers. Without Calvin Johnson in the offense, it's really hard to not root for the Detroit Lions because I kind of like them a little bit, but root fantasy-wise for any of their players because they step down a level.
Sure.
Especially Matt Stafford. Your Eric Ebron call, dude, that's right on point. Stafford needs weapons. He's got Golden Tate on the outside, who might see double teams now. Their whole backfield's decimated. Joique Bell concussed. Reggie Bush went out last game. They've got like some dude named George Wynn in there, So Matt Stafford's got to have a weapon. Eric Ebron might be the man. Other big news on the receiving front in the tight end role, New Orleans go-to guy Jimmy Graham. He He goes out. I think it's a shoulder. Went out first quarter, 2 catches, looking like he's going to have a monster game, and then boom, out for the rest of the game. No real status on his report. They do have a bye this week. So
it's good for him. And, Deshaun Jackson had a shoulder injury as well. So it's not his legs, and that's what's usually hurting these guys. So hopefully he'll get a little run back after a week off.
Absolutely. Other news, Monte Ball, Denver Broncos running back, who probably was drafted in the first or second round in many of your leagues, he goes down with an injury. That backfield is already kind of full. You had the Monte Balls, you got Ronnie Hillman, you got a dude named C.J. Anderson. It was already kind of loaded. Monte Ball not really getting it done. He could be out for 2 to 4 weeks, John Mark. Peyton, Monte Ball not having a good season so far anyway, but who would you trust in that backfield behind him?
I think I'd have to go with Ronnie Hillman out of anybody, but they could use Wes Welker as their other running guy, just using short passes. I don't think they're going to run the ball as much as they do.
That's a really good point. Peyton would rather throw it anyway.
He would.
Let Wes Welker
have him throw 50, 60 times a game and go get your win.
Sure. I mean, that could be a possibility on their strip.
Leaving in Peyton's hands, you will win the game.
Yeah, that's proven to be true. Also, Rashad Jennings goes out with a knee sprain. Rashad Jennings coming off back-to-back solid weeks for the Giants. Opens the door for a big running back, the rookie out of Boston College, Andre Williams. Man, did you see him run after Jennings got out with the injury?
Oh, he's phenomenal. They're saying that he could be the starter next year over Rashad Jennings anyway, so this is going to be a tryout for him to see what he can do.
Absolutely. Also injured, Zach Stacy, running back, St. Louis Ram, goes down with an injury. The St. Louis Rams offense not really clicking on the ground. It's really been this quarterback, Austin Davis, who's been throwing it all over the place to Brian Quick and some other receivers there. Zach Stacy's injury, though, still proves to be important. Behind him, what do we have behind him? Benny Cunningham. Benny Cunningham's been in the league a couple years. Not a bad pickup if you've got Zach Stacy. Cunningham can get the job done. Not explosive, but solid.
Yeah, you're going to need that handcuff right there, and I think that he gets a touchdown this week.
Yeah, I could see that too. Also, we talked about it before. Joique Bell did not play last week with the concussion. Don't know if he'll be back this week. Reggie Bush also out, looking tough in the Detroit backfield. We mentioned George Wynn to you. Don't know anything about this fella.
Fourth on the list for them. So, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, definitely. Donald Brown, San Diego Charger, also goes down with a concussion. Donald Brown got the lead role with the injury to Ryan Matthews and Danny Woodhead earlier this season. Donald Brown was picked up as a free agent by the Chargers for this role. The first 2 weeks he's in, he does nothing. Now he's out with the concussion. Another dude comes in behind him by the name of Brandon Oliver and wows us. Catches maybe 6 balls out of the backfield, rushes for almost 100 yards as well. What a find for the Chargers. Do you like Brendan Oliver as a waiver wire wonder this year?
I think he should be the number one waiver wire guy this week. I'm 12 in our league on the waiver wire. I am not going to be picking him up, unfortunately. But they say he's like a Sproles, but with more power.
Yeah, he's like a little cannonball.
That's some scary stuff right there.
Absolutely. And before we get to our waiver wire segment, we've been talking about it a little bit. I do want to mention 3 other breaking news that are just coming across the wire right now. The Detroit Lions, we rarely talk about kickers on the show. It's a fantasy football show. Kickers do not come to the...
Are we really even going to go there today? Do you want to do this?
I really...
think we're going to lose some listeners right now.
You're probably right. But we got to put it out there. I don't know if I can do it. Okay, here we go. The Detroit Lions signed Matt Prater. He was the old kicker from Denver who had a little bit of a booze problem, drinking a little bit too much. Maybe he got behind the wheel, got suspended.
Out at Chad's house that weekend.
Probably so. Hey, Matt, you owe me a 12-pack. Anyway, he got busted. He got suspended for 4 weeks. Now he's back. Detroit having humongous trouble in the kicking game. With their kicker last week, Freeze, missed 3 field goals, which one of them could have been a potential game winner because they lost by 3.
Yeah.
So Matt Prater, this is the only time we'll mention a kicker again. Promise you, fantasy fanatics, we'll never do it again. Matt Prater signs with the Lions today. He will be in their starting lineup.
Moving on.
Other news, the Chargers, with the running back problem they're having, signed Ronnie Brown this morning. Ronnie Brown, do you remember this fellow? Ronnie Brown played at the Dolphins. Then he went to the Eagles, played for the Chargers for a little bit. Ronnie Brown will be backing up, which it looks like now, Brandon Oliver as the starter. So in really deep fantasy leagues, if you really need help, and especially if you're PPR, Ronnie Brown could be PPR gold if Oliver were to go down because they got nobody else, John Mark.
Well, how long until Matthews comes back? Are they still there's no telling on that?
It's indefinite. I would say give him about at least two to four more.
He'll get injured again. I mean, he's been injured every season.
Exactly.
They need to start looking towards the future.
You might be right. So, anyway, Ronnie Brown's out there if you're very desperate. Also, interesting, the Cardinals, Carson Palmer, their starting quarterback, has been out since week 1. They replace him with Drew Stanton, who's done an okay job. He's been able to hold the fort down. When he gets injured last week against the San Francisco 49ers, in comes rookie from Virginia Tech, Logan Thomas, and actually performed okay. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but not the kind of quarterback you want in the NFL.
He was no Geno Smith,
Definitely no Geno, absolutely. So what did the Chargers do? Yesterday they signed Dennis Dixon, who was flipping burgers at McDonald's last week, to the team. Dennis Dixon signed by the Cardinals. He's the old Oregon Duck who was a Heisman candidate probably about 8 years ago.
He's a smaller guy, right?
Yeah, he's real skinny but fast.
Okay.
He played for Pittsburgh for a while.
Like a Teddy Bridgewater maybe a little bit?
Little bit. Taller, skinny kind of dude like Bridgewater frame. But anyway, Dennis Dixon now on the Cardinals team. So Logan Thomas looks like he might be the quarterback if Drew Stanton can't go. Dennis Dixon might be backing him up. The only reason I bring this up, dude, I don't really have any idea because Dennis Dixon will probably never touch the field. But if case he does, you remember, you heard it here first. All right, John Mark, let's break right into waiver wire wonders. We already hit really the top 5 in Brandon Oliver at the Chargers, Ronnie Hillman at the Broncos, Andre Williams at the Giants, and Benny Cunningham at the Rams. Here's some other dudes to talk or think about. Fred Jackson goes out with the Buffalo Bills game with an injury. C.J. Spiller comes in. And C.J. Spiller is supposed to be the starter. Fred Jackson has overtaken him. Check your injury reports for the status of Fred Jackson because if he can't go, C.J. Spiller the starter, but Bryce Brown, the running back, used to be at the Eagles, now will be backing up C.J. Spiller in that Bills backfield if Fred Jackson can't go. The Bills have already proven that they do not like C.J. They don't ever play C.J. Spiller. Bryce Brown might pop right in that role.
Well, you got Anthony Dixon as well.
Anthony Dixon's there too. So, I mean, it's pretty crowded backfield there. So, anyway, keep your eyes on Fred Jackson having a pretty good year, but goes out last game with an injury. Also, John Mark, you mentioned this to me earlier today. The Panthers, all kinds of trouble in the backfield. D'Angelo's gone, John Stewart's gone, Tolbert's out. We had this Reeves guy, Chris Obanaya's in now. But you said keep your eye on who? Tell me about it.
Jay Stewart's supposedly questionable for the week. So he suited up last week in practice. I assume he's going to be suiting up this week at least and testing that knee out. So he'll probably get injured again. But, might be a 1 week, 2 week wonder if you have him.
John Stewart, if you were to, let's gauge it, like give me some odds. He's questionable to play. They really could use him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a first-round talent.
Sure.
They could use him. Would you trust it to put him in as your flex this week? Can you trust it? You wouldn't trust it.
Not on my badass team.
Okay, you are loaded. Well, so maybe a pickup and stash, or maybe a wait 1 week and see. What are we thinking?
Probably wait 1 week. I don't think too many people, but desperate people, are picking him up right now.
Yeah.
But if you need a running back and you need to tuck something away, and when these bye weeks start coming up, he might be a good one to put in.
Okay, another one on this list. Antone Smith out of Atlanta. He's a rookie running back it's a crowded backfield there too, but dude, he's explosive. He's had outputs of like a 40-yard run, a 50-yard catch, a 60-yard run. It just seems that he's making a play when he gets in there. Again, this is a long stretch. This is for really deep leagues. But if you need somebody, this guy has been kind of explosive. Another dude we mentioned on our show the last 4 weeks, he's probably gone, but man, did we call it. Brian Quick. Have you watched him play?
Oh, yeah. He's been phenomenal. He got 5-6 touchdowns this year?
2 last week. He's from Appalachian State University. If you need a wide receiver and he's out there, guys, you got to pick him up and you got to start him as your flex because he is performing. Before we move on from Waiver Wire Wonder segment, John Mark, we mentioned the top 4 waiver wires pickups being Oliver Hillman, Andre Williams from the Giants, and Benny Cunningham possibly from the Rams. How would you rank those if you're number 1 on your waiver wire? status, who would you put in what positions?
I'd put Oliver number 1,
Yes.
Williams 2, Hillman 3, and Cunningham. Was that the last one?
Benny Cunningham, yes, out of the
Cunningham
Rams.
4. That's my top 4 right there.
I would stay. I'm going to agree with you with Chargers, Brendan Oliver 1, and I'm going to agree with the Andre Williams 2. This dude looks explosive. And Rashad Jennings with a sprained knee, it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks or even longer.
It could be longer than
It
that.
could be. And Andre Williams with the Giants offense really coming on. Woo! Watch out. I like him in the 2 spot. Benny Cunningham, I'm going to slide 3 because Benny Cunningham is going to get the majority of all the Zach Stacy carries. Where Ronnie Hillman in the Denver backfield, there's a lot of dudes there. That C.J. Anderson, they got this dude named Jawan Thomas or Smith or something from the Packers, and Ronnie Hillman, plus Peyton throwing the ball short outs to Wes Welker. I'm going to put him 4. Before we move on, too, I just thought about this. Odell Beckham Jr., New York Giants rookie wide receiver who's been out with a hamstring, played last week.
He did great.
Wow, explosive.
Oh, yeah.
Adds another weapon to this offense. So now Eli, who we were laughing at the first 2 weeks of the season, now looks like to be a top 12 quarterback. Odell Beckham Jr., Ruben Randall, Victor Cruz, Andre Williams, and Larry Donnell. That team
That's a
is
pretty nice offense right there.
offense is starting to look fantastic. So anyway, Odell Beckham, guarantee he's out there on your waiver wire. Right now, ESPN leagues, he's owned by 1.2% of owners. Go grab him, stash him. He's there, and he could make or break you in the playoffs. John Mark, Waiver Wire Wonders segment over. Good job, buddy. Okay. Let's just shoot the bull a little bit. You know, we don't really get a chance to shoot the bull unless it's a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night till 2 a.m., which our wives don't like us spending that much time together, which is kind of odd. But let's shoot the bull a little bit, okay? So in July and August, we all had our drafts, and typically the top 5 players that were drafted, it always kind of revolved around running backs. Sure. The number 1 guy off the board was typically LaShawn McCoy, followed by Jamal Charles, Matt Forte, Adrian Peterson, and Eddie Lacy.
Sure.
In no particular order, but those were the top 5 guys.
I fell into the mold.
So let's talk about McCoy. You owned him. You drafted him, right? Has been a disaster so far. You know, not lived up to even a quarter of the potential that people drafted him at the 1 spot needed. Do you first of all, do you still have faith in him that he's going to come around and it will happen?
I think by the end of the season, we won't be talking the same talk. I think he's going to be fine. You know, the offensive line has really been the thing that's killing him. But I think he's going to be fine by the end of the year.
Darren Sproles stealing a little his thunder too early in the season. Yeah, he's stealing a little bit of it. So McCoy,
I'm not too worried, but I wouldn't pick him top 5 right now.
Exactly, which we're going to hit that exercise in a second. But I completely agree. McCoy 1. He's been not good so far. Jamal Charles, he was drafted 2 in most leagues. I drafted him. He's had 1 solid outing. The rest ho-hum because he was also out for a game and a half with an injured ankle. So Jamal Charles, if we redrafted, he ain't going to be there. No. 3, Matt Forte, the Chicago Bear. Solid.
He could be a top 5 still.
Solid, exactly. So if you drafted Forte, you're feeling happy about that first round pick. You know, you're feeling like you got your money's worth.
Oh yeah.
4th, AP, right?
Sayonara.
Gone. Probably not going to play for the rest of the year. So your top 4 pick in the entire league not playing. That's got to hurt fantasy owners.
Killing you.
My guesstimate would be if you drafted Adrian Peterson, there might be a segment, maybe a 20% fraction of the people that are in the playoff hunt, maybe with 3 wins or more. The other guy, the 80%, I think they're struggling right now.
Oh, yeah. That 1 pick right there destroys you.
Yes, because you want one of your top 5 picks to really perform.
I mean, Adrian Pearson should probably come out of his pocket and start refunding money to people who picked him.
Send the checks, AP. We're ready. Send the checks. In the 5th spot, Eddie Lacy. Everybody loved him at the preseason. Everybody loved him at the end of last year. The Green Bay Packer running back, Eddie Lacy, has not performed. He played better last week, but has not lived up to top 5 hype.
Well, those first 3 games, he had tough defenses to go against, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. We'll talk in a couple more weeks about Eddie Lacy. I've got him in my other league.
You still believe, though?
He's been a disappointment, but I think he's going to start running differently. I think he's going to start running harder.
Yeah.
So, but my thing is I've always drafted people who might have had 1 good season, and then you draft them the next season think they're going to be great. I think going forward, I'm only drafting proven people.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sean McCoy had 1 great season, though, didn't he? I mean,
but he was solid, but he was spectacular last season.
Right. So was Jamal Charles.
Yes.
And so was Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
But You got to be proven for more than one season, like
True.
Marshawn Lynch.
Right, which proves us that great segment into our next our next segment here is if we were to have a redraft today, John Mark.
Let's do it.
You know, if we were to do and pick 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, replacing the McCoy, Charles, Forte, AP, Eddie Lacy that we did in our draft 2 months ago, who would your top 5 be, starting with your number 5, moving up to number 1?
I never thought I'd have 3 wide receivers in my top 5. I guess the 0 RB thing,
theory, yes.
Maybe that's real. So Jordy Nelson would be my 5. I'd have Antonio Brown, my number 4.
Solid years by both these guys so far.
Andrew Luck, my number 3. Julio Jones, my number 2. And DeMarco Murray, number 1.
Wow, I love that top 5.
Which I would have never done because his injury, he gets injured every season. So
Exactly.
He still can. So
exactly.
you never know.
My top 5 looks very similar to yours. Jordy Nelson just having a career year from for the Green Bay Packers. He's on Aaron Rodgers, go-to dude in the clutch. I mean, he just performs. I've got him in my 5 spot. Le'Veon Bell, the Pittsburgh Steeler, do everything running back, slides into my 4 hole. Dude, the dude catches out of the backfield. He lost 20 pounds before the season started, and you can tell it. He looks spry on his feet. He's able to avoid tacklers, and he's got the speed. I love him in the 4 spot.
Must have been on that 0 carb diet.
May have been, which my ass needs to get back on it. I mean, it's time. It's time. The number 3 hole, Andrew Luck. Dude, if I'm drafting not a fantasy team, but an NFL team moving forward today, Andrew Luck's my number 1 player off the board.
He's the man.
He can do everything. He's smart, intelligent. He can move. He always seems to make the right decision. He's big and durable, so he can take some licks. Yeah, he's my 3 fantasy player, but number 1 in an NFL draft. 2 and 1, I agree completely with you. Julio Jones, wow. Without him in that Atlanta offense, they might not win a game. He's the best weapon on that team. And DeMarco Murray, man, as long as he can stay healthy, this guy he's on pace to get over 2,000 yards.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
last year when he came back from his injury, he had the best season, the finishing season as well. So, I mean, he's consistent right now.
Exactly. Now, would you do this? Because DeMarco Murray does have a history of getting injured. You know what I'm saying? Would you sell high right now? Would you sell because you could get whatever you wanted for DeMarco Murray really right now? Would you trade DeMarco Murray at his height for, let's say, a McCoy and a mid-tier wide receiver like give me like a Cordarrelle Patterson? Would you do that trade?
Not in a million
You
years.
would. You keep Murray?
Cordarrelle Patterson, that one would maybe another mid-tier would throw that, but it depends on your record.
Percy Harvin, let's say.
That would actually be you
would do that? You would trade
That'd be a trade I'd be looking into.
But you would need McCoy to
on
come.
Your other running backs.
That's true.
I mean, there's so many other things,
other
that
variables
would go into that.
Yeah.
What your record is, So.
Yeah. But that just goes to show you how much status in fantasy world DeMarco Murray has right now that you would be willing to give up McCoy and a Percy Harvin caliber player to get him, kind of deal.
No doubt about it.
So anyway, all right, John Mark, good job with the redraft today. Next up, let's move into the Fantasy 45, the fastest 45 seconds in fantasy football. We're going to hit you with all the stats you need to know for Week 6 starters and duds, and we're going to review some of the players that really excelled last week. John Mark, you ready?
I'm going to put our timer on even on this thing. Let's see how actually close we come to the 45.
It won't even be close. Let's go. Here we go. The first game, the Thursday night special, 8:25 kick coming live to you from Houston, Texas. The Indianapolis Colts, led by the Andrew Luck fellow we just talked about, travel to Houston right now. Indianapolis opened as a 1.5-point favorite. It's been bet up all the way to 3, John Mark, with the over-under 46. Arian Foster playing really good so far. Great fantasy numbers compared to Andrew Luck putting up the numbers for Indianapolis. Who are our studs and duds in this matchup?
Andrew Luck obviously is going to put up some numbers, I think. I think Reggie Wayne's going to have another big week. He's going to get his 80 yards, maybe a touchdown. I don't think he's been getting the touchdowns he deserves.
Good point, man. He's PPR gold because what he does, 8 receptions, 80 yards. You can just mark it down. He's going to get it.
He's going to get his points there, but I think he gets a touchdown this week, at least one. Now, I think also Dwayne Allen is going to get him something looking. I'm only saying that because I'm picking him up this week.
Yeah, I like Dwayne Allen in this matchup, too. To me, I completely agree. Andrew Luck, a must-start. Every fantasy formula league, if you've got Andrew Luck, you're starting him against this Houston defense. I love Arian Foster to run in this game. Watch for my sleeper here. Watch for my sleeper. I like T.Y. Hilton, who's been very quiet. I like for him coming out, a come-out party, if you will. And on the other side, DeAndre Hopkins has been showing glimpses of stardom.
Right.
This dude is great. Watch him come out, T.Y. and DeAndre, Thursday night showdown in front of the whole world. They have a breakout game. Dude, I'm flying over the total of this. I like fantasy points galore and real points galore. Over the 46, I'm taking Indianapolis to win on the road, minus the 3 as well.
Blowouts on Thursday.
That's
though.
right. Have we seen a close one yet?
No.
Yeah, hope maybe we'll see one this week. I just see a lot of points. Next up, 1 o'clock kick. We're going to the New York Jets Stadium where they host the Denver Broncos. Man, bad times for Rex Ryan and the Jets, John Mark. Michael Vick comes in to replace Geno. Then Rex, after the game, says Vick's going back on the bench. Geno is our man. What in the hell is happening with the Big Green? What's going on? Could you put your finger on it?
Well, they're saying that the owner or the, I guess, player relations guy has been setting Rex up for failure. Not giving him the players he needs.
Really?
But their quarterback can't even show up to dang meetings on time. I mean, they're all out of whack. I mean, these guys are a joke, and look for a bunch of people to get fired after this season.
The whole crew, they're gone, right?
Sayonara. So I really don't know, but Denver's going to come in there and crush them. I mean, I think it's going to be definitely to go over. I don't think the Jets are going to score that many points. So
we'll let our listeners know right now, Denver opened as a 4.5-point favorite. They've been already bet up to 8.5, 9 in some venues. The total is 47.5. You know, if I'm a Jet, let's say if I got any Jet on my fantasy team right now, a Chris Johnson, a Chris Ivory, maybe a Chris Ivory in the flex, no receivers, no tight ends, no quarterbacks would ever start on my team.
On your bench.
Chris Johnson's on the bench, dude, until further notice. Almost with 2 weeks away from being cut. This dude stinks. On the other side, Denver, can you start a Ronnie Hillman in your flex? Let's say you pick him up on the waiver wire. The Jets have a pretty good run defense. Can you start Ronnie Hillman against the Jets?
Well, who did the Jets play last week?
The Jets got shellacked. That's right.
So Oliver put 2 touchdowns on them. So
it's true.
Maybe Ronnie Hillman does the same thing against them. Who knows? The Jets, I think, are so confused they don't know what's going to happen, especially with Peyton as well. You don't know who's going to score.
Yeah, good point. We didn't mention any of the numbers for last week, but Demaryius Thomas, if you drafted Demaryius Thomas typically in the first round last week, you were rewarded, my friends. This dude went crazy on him. I'm trying to find his stats real quick. Anyway, 2 touchdowns, $165 or something. Had another 80-yard touchdown, called back. He would have had 200-plus with 3 touchdowns at the beginning of the third quarter.
Wow.
This dude went crazy. He was awesome here.
Look for Wes Welker getting his little welcome comeback touchdown this week.
Okay, I can see that. Actually, Demaryius, his numbers, 8 for 226 and 2 touchdowns. So if you threw that 80-yard they called back, he would have had 300 yards.
That's crazy.
That is sick. Anyway, I'm with you all day long, John Mark. Denver, minus the 8.5. I'm going to probably lean a little to the under because I don't think the Jets can score. I say Denver, 45, Jets, nothing under the total. Next up, Pittsburgh travels to Cleveland for this 1 o'clock start. The Cleveland Browns coming off a big come-from-behind win. Did you see the final for this, John Mark?
I did. It was a very good game.
Yeah, they were up 28-3 in the first half. I'm sorry, the Titans up 28-3. The Browns come storming back, win 29-28. Hoyer, quarterback, leads the way, 292 and 3 touchdowns. Ben Tate, he comes back. You know, he's been injured for the last couple of weeks. Comes back. What a game to come back. 123 yards on 22 rushes. Great job by the Cleveland offense. Before I proceed, I'm going to stop here. All right, let's say you need a quarterback that, because of the buys this week, which are New Orleans,
sure,
Drew Brees on bye, and the other bye was Kansas City. Is Hoyer somebody you might want to pick up on the waiver to start as your quarterback if you've got Drew Brees on bye?
He's been playing good football, and I think they I love how we haven't said Manziel's name all season since it started. You know, I think him and Cousins would probably be up there as the top 2. But
while we're talking about quarterbacks too, well, I'm way off the subject. I'm just all over the place, but let's rank them. If you need a quarterback, Brees is on bye. Hoyer, Austin Davis, the dude that's playing for the Rams, that's been playing really good. Right. Kyle Orton, who replaced E.J. Manuel in Buffalo, or Kirk Cousins. Who are you drafting? Put them in order for me there. Who do you like best?
I'd stay with Kirk Cousins.
More weapons.
Yeah, more weapons, and I think he's a starting quarterback anyways. I thought that from the beginning of the season. Who was our other ones? I'm sorry.
Brian Hoyer, Austin Davis from the Rams, and then Kyle Orton for the Bills.
Probably Austin Davis, Hoyer, then Kyle Orton.
Perfect.
There's a reason why Kyle Orton's been on so many teams.
Exactly. I agree. You know, Kyle Orton is one of those quarterbacks that come in and just try to.
He can win.
Exactly. He'll try to get you the W, but his numbers will not be fantastic. So anyway.
Hi, I'm 2012 Greater Hickory Kia Classic winner Fred Funk. Please join me at Rock Barn Golf and Spa for the 12th annual Greater Hickory Kia Classic, October 13th through the 19th. See Michael Allen defend his title against two-time Masters winner Bernhard Langer, two-time Hickory winner Jay Haas and Kenny Perry, Champions Tour rookie Lee Jansen, and a fantastic field of Champions Tour players. Weekly grounds badges are just $50. Individual tickets are $20 per day with proceeds going to charity. Get your tickets today at GreaterHickoryKiaClassic.com.
All right, so just broke right out of the Fantasy 45 to talk about quarterbacks, but John Mark, here we are. We're right back to the Fantasy 45. Pittsburgh right now on the road is a 1.5-point dog against Cleveland. The total's 47. Pittsburgh playing better, but still not up to the Pittsburgh Steelers caliber that we're looking for. Cleveland skating by, really close victories in the last couple games. Cleveland -1, over under 47. Who do you like?
I like the Browns here. This is where I think the Steelers are going to be the worst in that division, and I think the Browns pull it off by 3 points.
Yeah, man, I hate to hear that being a Steelers fan, but I agree, dude. Cleveland minus the 1.5 at home. I think Cleveland wins this game by 3.
Under for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to lean the under as well. Pittsburgh, if you're going to start some fantasy guys, definitely Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are no-brainers. If you need
Hawkins.
Yep, if Cleveland side, Andre Hawkins. If you need a tight end, Ben Roethlisberger loves to go to Heath Miller. With Jimmy Graham being on a bye, he might be a good fill-in for you. So we're going to go Cleveland minus the 1.5, under the 47. Next up, Tennessee Titan bound. We are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, this is the snoozer of the week, the toilet bowl, if you will, of the week. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Jacksonville last week, they played the Steelers. They put up 9 points at home. Come on. Blake Bortles, 191 for the rookie. Not much happening in the backfield for the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Tennessee, on the other hand, did finally put up some points, but their defense gave the game away. Kendall Wright. Well, actually, let's talk about the receiving core there. Justin Hunter, who we've been waiting on to explode, 3 for 99 and a touchdown. John Mark, anything fantasy-wise worth talking about with Jacksonville at Tennessee?
Delaney Walker, maybe?
Okay, tight end. I could dig it.
Delaney Walker's had a good season. That's about it. I look for Jacksonville to win their first game of the season.
Whoa, really?
That's right.
Tennessee does come in as that 6-point favorite with the total 44. You know what? I'm going to ride that Jacksonville train.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles, this will be his third start, kind of getting his feet underneath him a little bit.
The rest of his life.
Exactly.
He's a winner.
He's going to get a win, and Tennessee just wants to give games away. Hey, sleeper alert. This is a deep, deep sleeper. I just thought about this from reading something yesterday. There's this dude named Storm Davis. All right? His name is Storm Davis. He's a running back. He played at Central Florida.
My next kid's name.
I love that name, right? Storm East.
I think I'm going to be
Tornado
Russell.
Tornado Russell. I'll be Storm East. Well, anyway, Storm Davis played at Central Florida. Guess where Blake Bortles played?
Central Florida?
Guess what? Blake Bortles is a rookie. Guess what year Storm Davis is?
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, right? Yeah. What can be more comfortable as a rookie quarterback?
Throwing to your boy.
Having your boy behind you.
Oh,
Storm
yeah.
Davis. Let me give you his stats. It's his first time he got to play was last week. He got in the game. Let's see if I can find his stats real quick. He put up, Mr. Storm, he only got 4 carries, but 27 yards and caught a couple balls out of the backfield. Just playing in a quarter. Guys, look for Storm Davis. You heard it here first. Storm comes charging in, storming in.
I wish y'all could have seen that face he just made.
Here comes the Storm Davis. So anyway, you keep him on your radar. He might
Stormy
Storm might even be worth a pickup. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with Storm Davis and Blake Bortles. Jacksonville plus the 6, under the 44. Next up, Atlanta, Hotlanta, if you will, playing host to the Chicago Bears. All right, we've said it since the fantasy formula was started 4 years ago. Matt Ryan at home. Woo! Matt Ryan on the road. You know, this dude So they played 3 games at home. I'm gonna look up the Falcons record real quick. They played the Giants last week. We'll look at Matt Ryan's numbers. Let's find them. Okay, Matt Ryan on the road, 316 and a touchdown. That's not bad. But when he's at home, he's like 390 and 3 touchdowns. When they're at home, they've been at home twice. They won 2 games.
Oh yeah,
they've been on the road 3 times. They've lost 3 games.
They'll be 8-8 this year.
Exactly. That's the kind of team they are. But they are playing home this week, John Mark Russell.
Against the Bears.
Against your Bears. The Falcons are a 3-point favorite with the total 53.5, a big number. First of all, do we like Matt Ryan at home, which obviously we probably do.
Matt Ryan at home is a no-brainer for sure.
And give me some other fantastic people we need to start in this game.
This game is packed with fantasy people. So Matt Ryan, start him. Cutler, start him. Forte, start him. Alshon Jeffrey, start him. Brandon Marshall, start him. Julio Jones, start him. I mean,
absolutely.
It's crazy how many points, and they're playing at home, so the Bears are going to have to put up points. You might even want to start the Falcons D, though, because Cutler, you never know which Cutler you're going to get. Are you going to get the Cutler that throws 3 picks again and has the Falcons, what did their D score, like 20, 30 points last time they were home?
Yeah, they did. But their D stinks, though.
Their D stinks.
They really does stink.
So I think this is going to be way over the 54, no doubt about it, and I got to go with my Bears, though.
Yep. You mentioned starting Jay Cutler. He still gets his, like last week, for instance, he puts up against the Panthers D on the road.
Throw 3 touchdowns.
289 and 2 touchdowns, 28 for 36. That's fantastic.
Right.
But how many picks did he throw?
Right. Was it 2?
2 picks.
Yeah.
So you trust Jay Cutler being a starting quarterback? Yes, because he puts up great fantasy numbers. But in the NFL, man, do you think, speaking to a Bears fan, do you think he's the man for the job?
I was listening to another show, and they're comparing him now to the Tony Romo. He's only won 1 playoff game.
I can see that comparison.
And
makes sense.
After last year, was it last year or 2 years ago, where he, didn't finish the playoffs? He got injured. No one ever know whatever happened to him, but he just never came back in the game, and you never heard if he got injured or what. Yeah. Move on. I mean, this guy's they paid him all the money already, so I guess we're stuck with him. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
Could be worse.
That's true. You could have Blake. Well, actually, Blake Bortles. Oh, you'd have Geno. You could have Geno,
could
right?
Have Geno
so
Smith
feel
Rex
lucky.
Ryan as your coach.
Exactly. One more quick note to add to this: the time has just been changed on this game. It was supposed to be a 1:00 kick. They moved it to 4:25. So you might think about your fantasy starters. You have a little bit more time to adjust them now with that game moving to the 4:25 slot. Next up, we're going to Miami, where the ladies are lovely against the Green Bay Packers. Miami coming in off their bye last week, so maybe well-rested. Green Bay coming off a big win at home on Thursday night, 42-10. Aaron Rodgers, only 12 for 17 with 156, but puts up 3 touchdowns all in the first half. Looks fantastic. Eddie Lacy gets back to the Eddie Lacy who we thought he would be. 13 for $105 and 2 touchdowns. Jordy through the air, 1 for 66 and a touchdown. Miami right now a dog of 3.5 at home with a high total of 49. John Mark, talk to me about it.
Well, the Dolphins' strategy of sending over their prostitutes to the Packers the night before probably won't work because the Packers don't really see women out there in Wisconsin.
Just a bunch of cheeseheads.
They probably just don't know what to do with all that cheese.
True. True.
But anyways, I look for Aaron Rodgers obviously to have a big day. Miami's going to have to put up some points to keep up with Green Bay on this one. Look for Mike Wallace, I think, to have a big day as well.
Yeah. Also, let's throw one thing in there. Charles Clay, the tight end for Miami, who a lot of people drafted, but he's been cut. They want to get him more in the offense because he's got the skills and the talent to perform. Yeah. He really has
been injured all season, right?
Yeah, he's been hurt. Now he's finally, they say he's healthy. He's got the skill set to compete with the Jordan Camerons, the Travis Kelce's, that kind of athlete. I mean, he is one. So look for Charles Clay. If you need a tight end, he might be the guy to go grab. I like Green Bay. They're too good. I think Miami keeps this game close. Green Bay wins by, let's say, a touchdown, but I'm leaning under the total. Under the total. Well. 49's a lot.
28-21 maybe?
Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe 24-21-ish. It will go under the total 49. We both like Green Bay. Next up, Minnesota plays host to the Detroit Lions. We just talked about the Detroit Lions struggles without Calvin Johnson in the backfield. Now Joique Bell and Reggie Bush banged up too. Right now, I guess Las Vegas still thinks Detroit is the better team than Minnesota. They set the number at -2 with the total 44. But Teddy Bridgewater is probable to play. Minnesota plays different with Teddy being the quarterback. What do you take on this game?
Well, who's that guy that Teddy Bridgewater threw a couple touchdowns to the other week? Their wide receiver?
Greg Jennings?
No, it was a guy.
Oh, yeah. It's the oh, man, let me find him.
Because that guy might be a pickup if he's coming back in as
Jarius
well.
Wright was his name. Jarius Wright is his name.
Wright got a lot of looks from him, which could be a big pickup. But this could be the other doo-doo bowl of the week.
Yeah. This one's going to be better than Jacksonville, Tennessee.
It'll be better.
Yeah.
But who's Stafford going to throw to? Golden Tate, I guess.
Yeah.
And Ebron, I say, goes for a touchdown this week. They say he can't block very well, though.
Yeah, I like the Ebron call, catching a touchdown. Yeah, definitely.
I'm going I'm still picking. I say if Bridgewater plays, Minnesota wins. If he doesn't, Detroit wins.
Bingo. I like it too. And they say Bridgewater's probable, so I'm going to lean Minnesota catching the 2. I'm going to probably go under the total 44. Bridgewater does bring the best out of the offense, but Detroit's defense is pretty nice. Interesting fact about Jarius Wright, I'll just throw out there just because I'm all-knowing. All right, so Adrian Peterson was interviewed about 2 years ago, and they said, AP, what can we look forward to offensively besides you on this team? Now, this was 2 years ago, and he said, watch out for my man Jarius Wright. Because if we have a quarterback that can throw the ball, he is going to be somebody to watch. Well, last year they had no quarterback to throw him the ball. Now Bridgewater's a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what happened when he played? Jarius Wright, 2 touchdowns. AP called this 2 years ago. We're calling it right now on the fantasy formula. Jarius Wright, pick him up. We like him.
Can't go wrong with Wright.
Boom. Next up, Carolina fans. Do you have one of those little growls? Addison normally does a growl. Oh, that's better than Addison's, too.
Everything's better than Addison's.
Hey now. Carolina on the road to Cincy. Carolina, wow, what a win in comeback fashion. Man, I didn't think they had it in them, but boy, did they ever. What did you watch the game, I would guess?
It was a tough one to watch. You know, when your two teams are going against each other,
right.
It's,
exactly
sweet and sour. But I kind of felt the Bears were going to give it up, but I didn't know the Panthers could actually pull it off. So it was kind of I expected my Bears to do what they did, but didn't know the Panthers could do that. So, I think the Panthers are not as bad off as people think they are.
Man, I'm starting to agree with you.
Greg Olsen is really one of the best guys out there for tight ends.
Fantasy-wise, top 5 in real NFL tight ends, probably top 3. He just produces.
He produces, and last season, the season before that, I've always said if we throw to Craig Olsen, we're going to win the game.
Yeah.
If he gets targets. So he catches the ball and he moves the ball. So Cam Newton, I'd like to see him run a little bit more. Seems like he's been hesitant to get down the field on his legs.
But if he runs and takes a hit, dude, he could be dead. He's so banged up. I'm just saying,
he does look like a 50-year. He looks like worse than Brett Favre at the end of his career running around.
He's just not healthy. He played great last week, 19 for 35, 255, and 2 touchdowns. Played great, but I'm telling you, if they want for him to last, he don't need to be running. I know that's a big part of his game.
It's true,
but man, they need him to be healthy for them to win. So,
but I look for big fantasy points in this game as well. AJ Green's going to have a big day. Giovanni Bernard's going to be tough for them to defend. But I think Carolina can still pull this game out. I don't know if I'd put money on it, though.
Yeah. Carolina coming off the big win, Cincinnati coming off a big loss, their first loss of the week to the Patriots. They got destroyed 43-17. I think they might be a tad angry. Okay, I think they might be a little bit upset. Carolina
and they have
traveling,
to prove back to everybody else that they're real, and they're at home.
Because I think Cincinnati's real. I think they ran into that New England buzzsaw coming off their
pissed off week.
Yeah, exactly. They were upset. So anyway, Carolina gonna come into a bee storm or beehive, whatever you want to say, but I think they keep it closer than what the Vegas experts predict. Cincinnati right now is a 7-point favorite. The total's 44.5. I think Cincinnati wins the game, but, man, I think it's underneath this number. I'm going to take Carolina plus the 7, and I'm going to lean under the total 44.5. This should be a good game.
Good game.
Next up, 1 o'clock kick. Buffalo Bills with their new quarterback, Kyle Orton, in the mix, playing host to New England. Just talked about New England a few minutes ago. Last week, did they respond? Yes, they did. Tom Brady, if you said he needed to be benched, well, he said, middle finger to you. 23 for 35, 292, and 2 touchdowns. Stephen Ridley on the ground. He goes for $113 and a touchdown. And Rob Gronkowski, Finally, 6 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Plus, their defense played tremendous against the Cincinnati defense. They are now traveling to Buffalo. Can New England do it on the road? This is a conference or division game for them. Buffalo playing better. New England, -3, total 45.
Oh, you got to take New England in this game. I mean, Kyle Orton ain't ready yet. I mean, he's been sitting on the bench for weeks. Got his first game back and got a W, but Patriots are going to be on a tear here in a minute.
You feel like they kind of got it rolling now?
I mean, once they figure it out, I mean, it's going to be dangerous. So, Tom Brady, they're all talking about, is he over the hill as well? He's proven that he's going to prove everybody wrong, at least people who are talking about it, not me. But do you start Ridley or Vereen? That's been driving me crazy all season.
It's tough.
You never know what you're going to get there. They're like a box of chocolates, I guess.
Hey, Forrest. Thank you, Forrest.
But anyways, I think Sammy Watkins is going to have a big game. I mean, he's the one I'd throw to if I was Kyle.
For fantasy info, that total Vegas set at 45. Buffalo's defense is a top 5 defense in the league. Can they slow down New England? I don't know. For some reason,
Cincinnati was the top defense.
Exactly. For some reason, I'm thinking this thing goes over the total, which means we're going to have some fantasy studs in this game. And you pick Sammy Watkins. I like that pick. I really like Sammy. Kyle Orton threw I'm looking at Sammy Watkins' numbers right now. 7 receptions for 87 yards, targeted 12 times. So Orton's looking at Sammy.
If you were quarterback, and wouldn't you throw to that dude?
All day long. The other thing, if Fred Jackson is hurt and can't play, that means Spiller gets the nod in the backfield. He's explosive. You got Spiller in the backfield, Sammy lined up in the slot. Woo!
Right.
That's some offense right there. So I'm going to go over the total. I like New England to get some points on the board, and I like this Buffalo offense to surprise. So I'm going to go New England. Actually, I'm going over the total for sure, 45. You're rolling with New England. I'm going to just leave it at that. Next up, Baltimore at Tampa Bay. The Baltimore Ravens coming off a loss to the Colts last weekend. Their offense only puts up 13 points. Joe Flacco comes back to earth after his good performance the week before, just for 235. Justin Forsett looks like a must start in most fantasy leagues now, John Mark, as a flex play. 6 for 42 and a touchdown, a couple catches out of the backfield. They are playing on the road to Tampa Bay. Right now, Vegas got the number set. Baltimore -3, Tampa Bay 43 over under. What are you thinking there?
I think Baltimore's going to run away with this game, although the Bucs are keeping games more close than they were.
Glennon looks to be a leader for this team.
I think Glennon was the one that should have started at the beginning of the season anyways.
Absolutely.
But, he's throwing to Vincent Jackson, which nobody's been throwing to. When you have a weapon like that, the other quarterback wasn't even throwing to him. So look for Glennon to have a nice little game, but Steve Smith's going to break out another one against him, another Old Town rival for him when he was with the Panthers against Tampa Bay. So he's still got hate for these other teams like he used to, and wants to prove to them that he's even better than he was. So Justin Forsett, look for him to have a good one as well.
Yeah. Hey, man, Steve Smith, odds of catching a touchdown in this game, what would you put it at?
Pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'm putting it at 80%. 80% I think he'll catch one. You make a great point, the Vincent Jackson-Glennon thing. Glennon last year was the starter. Vincent Jackson had a great year. McCown starts this year. Vincent Jackson does nothing. Glennon gets in the last 2 games. Vincent Jackson back to normal.
Oh, yeah.
Vincent Jackson moving forward as a wide receiver 1 must start. You could even, if you want to try to steal a player off somebody's that they own right now, a lot of people have not been high on Vincent Jackson. You can maybe do a little sneaky play and try to get him, because moving forward, this dude's going to explode. They've seen what he's done in the last 2 games, so he might be hard to get him.
Prey on the weaker players.
Prey on the Addisons of the world. But anyway, I'm liking Tampa Bay at home in this game. They're going to keep this thing close, might win outright. I'm going Tampa Bay plus the 3, and I like for this Tampa Bay offense to keep going. I'm going over the total 43. Steve Smith with the touchdown, Justin Forsett with the touchdown. Let's go over 43, Tampa Bay plus the 3. Next up, 4 more games to go, John Mark. We've got San Diego traveling to the Oakland Raiders. Have the Oakland Raiders won yet? Let me see. I don't think
they are 0-4 and 0-2 in their conference.
Unbelievable. We talked earlier about the San Diego's new weapon in the backfield, Brendan Oliver. Oakland's run defense is just pitiful. You see Brendan Oliver having a pretty good game in this matchup.
I think he's going to destroy him. Yeah. I think Rivers has an excellent game. Oliver has an excellent game. But who is Rivers going to throw to? No one still knows.
Yes.
It's killing me every week.
Yes.
So
Keenan Allen one day, then it's Gates the next, then it's Malcolm
Keenan
Floyd.
Allen doesn't even have a touchdown yet.
I know. He's only had one really good game so far.
I got Eddie Royal and Keenan Allen. Who would you start?
Man, I go with Keenan. And the only reason I say is because it's got to start happening for Keenan Allen because it hadn't happened yet, Right. So I would probably start Keenan Allen.
Chargers get the Jaguars and the Raiders. They're just falling into an easy part of their season.
Feasting upon the weak.
That's right. So look for them to have a big week. But, I put San Diego at least up by 2-3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Vegas got the number set. San Diego on the road, a 7-point favorite, total 43. John Marks likes San Diego minus the 7, as do I. The total 43 under, as do I. On the side for Oakland, nobody really there to start. MJD, you can't start. Darren McFadden, you can't start. Maybe James Jones as a flex wide receiver, maybe. But that would be about it. We're taking San Diego minus the 7 and 43 under the total. Next up, this is a good game. This is our second 4 o'clock game. Kicks at 4:25. We're going to Seattle, where the 12th man prevails there. They have a great stadium to play with. People say that's the best home field advantage in the entire league. Well, guess who comes a-calling? It's America's team, Dallas Cowboys, on a 4-game win streak against the world champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I don't have the red zone, so I can't watch all the other games. So the game that I want to watch the most during the day is the game.
This is the game.
This is the game.
This is the game. I'm surprised it's not the night game, but
exactly.
The Giants-Eagles. So.
Sure. So Vegas sets the number at 8.5, Seattle favored at home, which in the total 47. You think that – what do you think? Well, first of all, what do you think about that number? Did you think it would be higher, or do you think it's right where it needs to be?
I think it's right where it needs to be.
Me too.
It's so in question. I would not put money on this game. Not even out of my checking, my savings, my money market.
Your daughter's little piggy bank. You wouldn't take it out of there?
$1 out of there or something. Yeah. But, I couldn't do it. But I love this game. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. This basically tells us, is the Cowboys real or not?
Sure.
If they can go into the Seattle Seahawks place and even give them a game, I think they're real. Now, if they get blown out this game, we just know that they're regular old Cowboys, cowgirls, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But DeMarco Murray, can he run on the dang?
We shall see.
Seattle?
This is what.
Start him one way or the other, obviously.
Sure. Got to start him.
Dez Bryant's probably going to have a big game.
Think about this. Dez lining up against Richard Sherman. Then you got the other side, Terrence Williams, who might
I think Terrence Williams is going to have the big day.
He might have the day, and maybe even Witten as the tight end catching some balls, down the field. This game's going to be great. The over-under is 47. This thing's flying over. Russell Wilson has proven to be time in and time out so far this year one of the top 5 NFL quarterbacks in the league. Just makes the right decision. Dallas's defense is playing better, but I think Seattle can score on them, and I think Dallas will put up some points as well. I'm going to go over the total, and guess what, John Mark? I think Dallas keeps it close. I'm going to go Dallas plus the 8 to keep it a close game. I'm not calling for an outright win, but they keep it close. DeMarco Murray stops his 100-yard rushing streak, though. I think he maybe go for 80 and a touch, but look for the wide receivers for Dallas to have a field day, as well as Marshawn Lynch.
That's going to be a fun one.
Should be a lot of fun. Next up, 4:25, 3 games to go. Washington Redskins travel to the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about what's happened in the Arizona Cardinals quarterback situation with Carson Palmer not playing, Drew Stanton questionable, which leaves the rookie Logan Thomas to possibly start against this Washington Redskins team who just laid it. Well, I'm not going to say an egg against the Seattle defense the other night, but put 17 up against them. That first half, they did nothing. They looked out of sync. Maybe they'll put it together against the Cardinals. Vegas right now has the number set. Interesting. Opened up when they thought Drew Stanton would play at -6, dropped all the way down to -3.5 right now. Total, no total posted. What do you think, John Mark?
I think who knows with the quarterback for Arizona, but Arizona's D is pretty good. But I think Alfred's going to have a big game running the ball. But
I'm worried about Michael Floyd. I drafted Michael Floyd as my wide receiver 2 in 2 leagues.
Right.
Started out really strong. He's kind of disappeared a little bit.
No touchdowns though, right?
No touchdowns. Maybe it's because of the quarterback play. They got a third string quarterback in. So, do you bench Michael Floyd again this week with maybe Logan Thomas as the starter?
Logan Thomas Floyd might be his favorite guy.
Maybe
I like when the new quarterback comes in because he's always going to target somebody that he's been throwing well to. So
Good point.
You just never know with the new quarterback. So. I'd say Arizona probably still pulls it out, but I could be totally wrong there.
Yeah, I'm going to take Arizona at home, too. They play great at home, -3.5. There's no total posted, so don't really know what to tell you here, except Pierre Garçon was basically shut out by Seattle's defense on Monday night, John Mark. Arizona just gave up 200-plus yards to Demaryius Thomas. Deshaun Jackson had a pretty good game against Seattle. I think it flip-flops this week. I think Pierre Garçon has the game for the Skins this week as the wide receiver. He will be in my lineup as a starter for sure, wide receiver too. I like Pierre Garçon to get a touchdown in this game, and I'm going to listen to you. I like the Michael Floyd call. Maybe Logan Thomas and Michael Floyd got something going on. Let's look for him to get a touchdown too. I'm going to lean under the total, though, but we're going with Arizona -3.5. Here goes our Sunday night special. The New York Giants on the road traveling to Philadelphia Eagles. This is a huge NFC East division game. I'm talking about huge. The winner of this moves up to keep pace with the Dallas Cowboys at the top of the division. I know this is one of your favorite games of the day.
Well, Eagles are up there right there with the Cowboys.
Exactly, and the Giants need to get up there, so they need a win. Vegas has the number set at home. Philadelphia opened as a 3.5-point favorite. It's been bet down a solid point to 2.5. People are jumping on this Giants bandwagon. John Mark, are you?
I'm not jumping on any bandwagon, but I enjoy watching them play better than they were. I think they're getting the ball rolling, and they're going to have to win this game if they want to stay in it. They're going to let the Eagles and Cowboys could potentially lose. Eagles winning puts them ahead of everybody. Giants 3-3 if they lose. So
right.
I look for McCoy to have a huge game.
He's due, man.
I think he's due.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. But I think Manning's going to throw all over. I think that it's going to go over the over.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Probably wouldn't even bet on the line, though.
Well, you know what? I'm going the Giants plus the 2.5. If I can even get the 3 to make it the 3-point game, I like that even better. But the Giants are playing so good. Philadelphia, to me, seems like they're missing something. They started out the year really good. The last 2 games, they have a loss and barely squeaked by against the Rams. Giants have more momentum. I like them plus the 3. I'm flying over the total 50.5 too. Odell Beckham gets a touchdown. Ruben Randle gets a touchdown. I like these guys a lot. Eli, 3 touchdowns this game.
There you go.
I'm digging it. LaShawn McCoy on the board with the touchdown. Must start. Look for the Zach Ertz tight end for Philly. He's kind of been a little bit quiet the last 2 weeks against the Giants D.
Sure.
He can find his spot. Ertz with the touchdown. This thing flies over the total, over 50.5. Giants plus the 3. And last but not least, the Monday night finale here in St. Louis. The St. Louis Rams reeling a little bit with, trouble in the backfield. Their defense not living up to the hype. I think they've only won 1 game. What's their record, John Mark?
They are 1-3.
1-3. Need a win badly. Division game against the San Francisco 49ers, who are finally playing better. The offense still not clicking yet. Vegas sets the number San Francisco -3 on the road. Total 43.5.
I look for San Francisco to definitely cover. I think they're going to beat them pretty well. Frank Gore's going to have a big day. Do you start Brandon Quick against the 49ers, D?
Brian Quick, I do. He's my flex. I'm going to start him as a flex, man, because the Austin Davis quarterback is looking to this dude all day long. It's really his go-to weapon. There's not really much weapons in St. Louis, you know what I'm saying?
He had 21 receptions all season. It's not a lot of receptions.
Because Austin Davis just got the starting gig week 3,
yeah.
and since then, that's when he's flourished.
That's right.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying about San Fran. They're starting to get it rolling, but I'm telling you, St. Louis needs a win, and they need it badly. And it's Monday Night Football. Weird stuff happens on Monday Night Football, I'm taking St. Louis plus the 3 at home, and I'm going to even lean over the total 43.5. I think Kaepernick kind of gets it going for that 49er offense. I like him in this game, but I like St. Louis just a little bit better. I'm calling for the upset, surprise win of the week for the St. Louis Rams over the last one. That's right. Over the 49ers. Should be a good game Monday Night Football. John Mark, good game, good job. That wraps up the Fantasy 45, the fastest 45 seconds in fantasy football. Did you time it? How much was it?
I think that was
an hour and 38 minutes. Well, anyway, before we leave you, of course, we want to thank our wonderful sponsor. It's the Rock Barn Kia Greater Kia Classic Golf Tournament that's taking place in a couple weeks here in beautiful Hickory/Conover, North Carolina. We've got the biggest names in the senior tour coming to visit. I can't wait. I'll be out there playing in a Pro-Am on Thursday afternoon. Should be a blast. John Mark, you coming out there?
If I'm playing on that Pro-Am with you.
No promises there, sir. No promises there. But anyway, we look forward to seeing everybody out there. Going to be a great time. Weather should be lovely. Also, let's not forget, here in the beautiful town of Hickory, North Carolina, where dreams happen, John Mark.
Leaves are changing.
And it's beautiful. We have Oktoberfest upon us.
Should be pretty fun.
So Oktoberfest, just to let our fantasy fanatics know about what happens at Oktoberfest in Hickory, it's a lot of amusement rides, the music, food for the kiddies, adult beverages for the adults. And guess who's coming to town to play Saturday night?
I have no idea.
Edwin McCain. You remember Edwin McCain? I'll be your shy crying shoulder. He is coming to perform Saturday. He actually used to play at a fraternity house. I've seen him play in Myrtle Beach. He's traveled all over the world. Anyway.
Sounds like you've been following him.
I'm a member of his fan club. I'm a member of his fan club. But anyway, he's coming to Saturday, Oktoberfest on Saturday night performing. It should be a lot of fun.
I'll have to tell my wife. She will get totally excited about that.
Absolutely. So bring the kiddies out during the day. Get a babysitter for the evening. Come check out the show. It should be a blast in Hickory, North Carolina this week. Also, the Lenore Ryan University Bears, they are celebrating homecoming this week during 2 o'clock, I think is the kick. A huge day in Hickory on Saturday. The LR Bears, coming off their season where they made it to the championship, I think they're undefeated this year too, right? So they're having another great year. Check out LR at 2. Come hit Oktoberfest. After that, I'll have a poker game at my house following Oktoberfest.
Oof.
Dude, more the merrier. Let's make it a great weekend in Hickory, North Carolina. John Mark, anything else you want to say today, buddy?
Just good luck this week, fantasy owners.
Absolutely. John Mark, thanks for filling in again today. You did a fantastic job. And to you fantasy fanatics, we'll look forward to talking to you next week. Good luck. Peace.
Go get them.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.